Here's our 2015 GMC Yukon Denali. It's all-wheel drive. This vehicle actually came to us, apologize, I cannot remember what state it came from at the moment. I believe it was Georgia, if I remember correctly. There was front end damage. Both front fenders and the hood were replaced. And of course, headlights, grille, and cooling. So everything was replaced. Needs absolutely nothing. Truck's running perfectly. Nice and smooth. See, the gaps are all really nice and perfect. Everything you see is just some dust on the truck here a little bit. Black, so of course it kind of shows a little bit of everything. Don't really see much for any dings or dents on the truck anywhere, or scratches. Now there was no frame damage to this truck whatsoever. The only, no curtain airbags up here deployed. The driver wheel right here, that one deployed. But that's been removed and replaced and reset all by a GM tech. It does have a backup camera, of course power rear liftgate as it's opening now. Here we've got the buttons for the back seats, so they flip forward, and I'll only do the one seat here, but you can see that seat there is power, so she goes forward. So you see it's go back. There's a little storage cubby under here. There is a tow receiver down there. Just a little piece of styrofoam. Now they don't go power back up, just the back row is fully power forward and back. The back row you actually have to put up manually. And it will, by this button, it'll go here. And you can also go like that. Of course the seats do have to be, the front seats have to be forward. It's a little bit more in order to do that. Of course these are second row captain's chairs. The armrests do come down. And you can see here, we do have a DVD player with a controller. Pretty fancy. Second row heated seats, all your climate controls, your 110 and your cigarette lighter adapter is there. Now this truck, it does have a heads-up display, as you can see right there. You turn the radio down and excuse me, turn the fan down. So here we have our heads-up control functions. Of course, our lane departure, park assist, power pedals, traction control. This is your trailer brake options. Your four-wheel drive, we're in 2 high automatic, 4 high, 4 low. Headlights, of course, power windows, mirrors, locks, memory seats down here. This truck does have adaptive cruise control, heated seats. These are your adaptive cruise control functions. Of course, all of our wiper options here, front and rear, our radio controls. And then there's more radio controls here on the back of the steering wheels. Heated seats. These are your rear climate control buttons. Of course, this is climate control for the whole vehicle. Your radio controls. And of course, there's a little cubby in here. That looks like somebody's got a check in there. Interesting. Down here in the center counter, I'm sorry, looks like we do have an original owner's manual for the vehicle. And here we do have one key for it. As you can see, it does have remote start. Cup holders, our center console. Here we do have, this is some sort of, it's a motion sensor, like an alarm. You press that and it says motion sensor on. I believe it's some sort of like a theft thing in there. Not quite sure how that works. But here we've got your power moonroof controls, your power rear liftgate, home link, and of course your interior dome lights. And of course these also here turn on your dome lights as well. Your moonroof, your shade is power, but of course the excuse me, the moonroof does open completely. Everything in this truck works 100%. There's no codes or idiot lights or anything like that. No nothing goofy, no tricks, no shimmies, no shakes. Go ahead and put my seatbelt on, and I'll shut the vehicle off. Open the door just to shut everything off, and I will do a fresh restart, keeping my hand right here so you know I'm not trying to clear anything on you. And you can see all the lights go off completely. After she starts up, there's no lights whatsoever, and there's currently 11,518 miles on it. I'll go ahead and put her in drive. Now we did take this truck to the alignment shop. We had the alignment checked. They didn't have to adjust anything whatsoever on it. They said everything was true and correct. The accident itself was actually really high. You know, I don't know what they hit. Unfortunately, we don't get a report of what happens, but it was really high. So it was well above the frame, you know, the impact bumper, all of that stuff. So there was no damage down low to the steering, suspension. None of that stuff had to get replaced whatsoever, or adjusted for that matter. Here you can see the adaptive cruise is set. Basically what the adaptive cruise is, really beautiful feature. You know, I personally don't think I would ever buy a vehicle without one again. You know, it's pretty much the next best thing next to cruise control itself. As you can see here, it says 61 mile an hour right now. The truck's got its cruise set to 61. So let's say this truck that's up here in front of me, let's say they're only doing 55. If I come up to that truck doing 61, the truck itself will actually lock onto the truck in front of us, and it'll match their speed. So if they're only doing 55, then it's going to force me to do 55. It'll slow the vehicle down on its own, so you're not constantly up and down in the cruise here to try to maintain speed. And then, you know, 5 miles down the road, when that truck turns off the road, it'll automatically go back up to 61 mile an hour. So it won't make you go faster than that or slower than that. Same thing happens if the truck in front of us slams on their brakes and you're not paying attention, then the adaptive cruise senses that, and it will also hit the brakes on this truck as well. I'll actually try to speed up just a couple mile an hour. Maybe I can catch up to them, and what'll happen is you'll see a little green vehicle icon. It pops up right here. It also pops up on the heads-up display, but I'm not sure how well you can see the heads-up display in the video here. But you'll see a little green vehicle pop up, and that means that it's sensing the vehicles in front of us, and thus the adaptive cruise is, you know, kicking in at that point. You can set the distance out different. That was kind of what you saw right when I hit it right away. It's setting for a far distance, which I believe is, I'm not sure how it picks the distance, but I believe it's about 100, 150 feet out. I'll actually try to speed up here a little bit more. Okay. So here, I'll zoom in on my cruise control. You can see the cruise, the green the green half of it there. The green half is saying 64, so that's what my cruise is set to. But the truck in front of us, I'm not touching the brake or anything. I'm not doing anything. But the truck in front of us is doing 58 mile an hour, so that's what it's forcing us to do. But the truck wants to go 64. So, like I say, it's a really nice thing. If they're driving with their foot, you know, they can change their speed all they want. And we're just going to maintain this gap here. We won't get any closer to the truck in front of us. We won't get any farther from it. So it'll just maintain this distance on its own, regardless what speed he's going. If he happens to speed up to 80 mile an hour, we're just going to stop at 64. That's all we're set to. And then it'll break off from that vehicle. So anyway, as you can see here, I'll zoom back out. We're on kind of a nice straight stretch of road. I'm letting go of the steering wheel. I'm not touching anything whatsoever. My hand's up here. And you can see we're still going straight down the road. Actually, still not touching it. It's nice and perfect and straight. No idiot lights on the dash whatsoever. And I'll go ahead and hit the brakes. Green light again pops up, just telling us that there's a vehicle up there. It's also a collision alert as well. That's going to conclude our test drive for the day. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to email us. Thank you very much.